Hey everyone, it's Tommy back with another video, and as you can see we are doing a narration video with a helmet cam for the first time. So we're going to jump right in here and we can see that this is my pregame. What I like to do is, since I'm a beer leaguer, we have about 5 minutes of pregame, and at about 3 minutes that's when I'll jump in and take 2 lines of slap shots here, sometimes some wristers. I typically don't go down, and I'm just trying to get a feel for the puck. Nothing too big. And then I'll go back to the side and rest up a little bit, get a couple drinks of water, and that's really about it for my pregame, other than the stretching that I do before I take some shots. So, first, and as always, we're going to go through what equipment I'm wearing. And if you have not seen it already, I am wearing my brand new XLTs, which you can see right there. Otherwise, I have not changed any of my equipment, other than I'm wearing my old helmet just because it matches my new XLTs a little bit better. Otherwise, I love my XLTs. This was the first game I used them in, and of course they were a little bit stiff, but the rebounds were coming off nicely. It took a little bit getting used to, and you're going to see that here. The glove is a little bit of a different break, so that's something to get used to. But otherwise, it was a pretty easy game. So let's get started. Now this guy is one of my buddies, so I know him pretty well, and he played some juniors and also some college, so I know he's pretty good. And I noticed that as he's coming down, my defense is really covering that slot perfectly, so I just go down in the VH, and he ends up missing that corner. This shot's going to come from my buddy once again. This is actually a really good play coming from my centerman over to my winger. Unfortunately, that puck just squeaks past him. And my buddy gets a pretty good shot off here that goes off the shaft of my stick and goes over the glass. I don't know why opposing forwards like to do this, but sometimes they just wind up and take a slapper from the center line, so all I have to do is go down the butterfly and easily direct it to the side. Alright, finally we get the first save with the XLTs in a game. And we can see here that this puck is going to be dropped off to that forward right there. Easy little blocker save over into the corner. Not too difficult. My D here does a pretty good job of forcing him to the outside. And right about here, he really doesn't have anywhere to go because I also have another defenseman in the slot. So he just puts a shot on. Easy chest save. Probably should have been able to corral that rebound, but that's alright. Nonetheless, my defenseman can't get to that puck right there, and their forward's going to come around and try to throw one into the slot here. Now, of course, I have that really active stick, so I'm just going to go ahead and tap that out of the way right here. And my defenseman was right there to pick up my rebound. Now here's my buddy again, and it's a similar situation to the first one we looked at. Now, unfortunately for him, in trying to deke out my defenseman here, he ends up going much too far to my left and ends up with pretty much nothing to shoot at. So I just go down in the VH, and he ends up missing that corner once again. Backhand plays are always a little bit tricky because you're not entirely sure where that shot is going to come from and where it's going to go. So when he finally gets the shot off here, it actually gets deflected by my defenseman, and I end up missing the deflection with my own stick, but it hits my pad. The unfortunate part is it doesn't go into the corner as I had intended, and instead it goes straight to their forward right here, who's going to get a pretty good shot off, and it hits me in the glove. Fortunately, my rebound ends up coming pretty much straight out to my defenseman, even though I miss it right here, and he's able to clear that puck away pretty easily. Nice job, boys. Now here comes my buddy again, and of course he's going to do that inside-out move, and we're going to see that a couple times during this game. And he's actually going to get a pretty good shot here that ends up going off of my chest. Now unfortunately I wasn't able to corral that rebound, and my defenseman here is just going to swat it over to the side. where actually one of their defensemen is going to get to it first. Put a little slapper on, not really that difficult. But nonetheless, I actually didn't corral this rebound either. And it goes straight over to that forward right there, and I'm in pretty good position. He really didn't have anything to shoot at, but that's still something that I shouldn't have allowed in the first place. This was a pretty good play by their offense, one of the few really good plays of the game, where that guy ends up coming in and he gets a pretty good backhand off. Unfortunately, he wasn't left-handed. Gets that good backhand off, it ends up hitting me in the glove in that really weird area. I let out a rebound, but that's okay because my defenseman was right there.
There you go.
Now, while I know this play doesn't look all that impressive, I wanted to include it anyway because oftentimes simple plays can have a large effect. And so what I wanted to show here is that on this simple dump in, just corralling it, deadening it so that it doesn't move anywhere, and then noticing that he's right-handed and putting in a space for him really complements the way that he's able to turn around and make the next play. Alright, now this was their only goal of the entire game, and their center makes a pretty good play, and I'm partially screened here. And when this shot comes in, not only is it a little bit bouncy, but I actually thought it was going to go wide. So my angles were obviously off, unfortunately. Here we go again with another long slapper, and really there was nothing difficult about this whatsoever. Just redirect it over to the side so my defenseman can go and turn around and make a good play. The first forward breaking in makes a really nice drop pass over to his other forward, who has pretty much a wide open slot to make that shot. Now he's going to take a pretty good shot here, and I'm going to get it on my blocker perfectly. Try to redirect it over to the corner. Unfortunately, it goes over to my buddy here, who's going to try a trick shot. And fortunately, he misses the net, so I had to laugh at him a little bit. Alright, here he is again, coming down that left side, and he's not going to leave himself a whole lot of room to shoot here. So I'm going to go down in the VH. Ends up going off my chest protector, and because it's bouncy, it comes off a little bit funny and goes behind the net. I really wasn't all that concerned by this tiny slapper, even though it got deflected. But now it comes into this scrum, and I'm not sure where it's going to come out. When it comes out to my right, and I make a small leg save right here, and all I have to do is maintain my position to make sure that that puck doesn't go in. Now here's another rather unimpressive play, but why I wanted to show this is that you don't have to make the complex play every time. My team is very good and very offensively gifted, so just by leaving it for my defenseman and letting him take it up and make the next play is the right move here, instead of me trying to force a play.
I wish I could have. Right there. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, boys. I'm making more work for myself here.
Now, the last thing I said there is so true, isn't it? I made all of that work for myself because I didn't control the rebound on this initial shot. So on this initial shot, it comes in, and I try to corral the rebound, but it ends up hitting my glove in a funny area since I'm not used to that break. Ends up going to my right, and I make a nice little arm save. And at that point, when I turn around, I can actually see it still in the air coming down. Now, I don't have anyone on that right side, but I'm not aware of that yet. And now I think that it's probably going to end up coming out that left side. So you're actually going to see me turn around here, talk to my defenseman for a little bit, and he's going to tell me, hey, that puck's over on your other side. And fortunately, I'm still on that post, holding it pretty nicely. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. However, that puck's now going to go out to the point, and they're going to get another point shot. So now we're up to, what, 3 or 4 shots because I didn't corral that initial rebound. So now this shot's going to come in, and I'm not going to corral this rebound either. It's going to come out right past that group, and they're actually going to end up getting another shot that I didn't even know was coming until right about now. And it got deflected too, and fortunately I deflected that one into the glass. So all of those shots because I didn't corral that initial rebound.
There you go.
Now this was a nice little deflection play by their offense right here. Unfortunately, I just go over, get my toe on it, and then put it in a good position for my defenseman to take it for a new play. Right about now, their offense is pretty much just trying to shoot anything they can on net. And so he gets a pretty good shot off that ends up hitting me in the leg pad here. Again, horrible rebound control, but fortunately it goes into the corner. By now, my defense knows that I'm just letting out rebounds all over the place, so they were ready for this one. And that shot comes in, and I should have been able to easily catch it, but again, I'm not used to this break right now, so it's going to take me a little bit to get used to that. Fortunately, my defenseman was right there and knocks away the rebound. Funny enough, this play actually happened right after I was yelling at my defenseman that he had a guy behind. And neither of us thought that they were going to be able to make that pass. So they did make the pass, and he comes in, ends up flubbing the shot and the play a little bit, and only gets off a pretty weak shot over to my right side. Easy little leg save, not really all that difficult. And to start off the third period, they're going to get a nice 2-on-0 opportunity here. So he ends up coming in, and funny enough, I thought right about here, hey, I can probably get there first. But I figured, well, why not just stay back? Right about now, I think it was about 7-1. So I just stayed back in my crease, made the easy save. I didn't really want to move from here because I knew that other forward was going to be coming in pretty quickly. And of course he does, but doesn't have anywhere to put it. If it's a play off the face-off like this, what I'll often try to do is put the rebound over towards my defenseman so he can just turn around and make a new play. So that's what I'm able to do here, just off the toe over to my defenseman. He can turn around and hopefully make an outlet pass. Not really that difficult of a play, but he ends up coming in and taking a backhand shot, which, as we all know, we're not really entirely sure where it's going to come from. So he ends up getting it deflected off my own defenseman there, and he will end up corralling that rebound and knocking it away nicely. Now this is another one of the plays where they had a really good opportunity. And he's going to come in, get around my defenseman here, but he really doesn't have a whole lot to shoot at since I'm a pretty big goalie. He's just going to try to chip it over, and it's going to go straight in my chest and down in my 5-hole. Now the reason why I kept the rest of this clip in here is because I think it's really important as a goalie to make sure that you're picking up that puck for the referees. Those referees love it when you pick up the puck for them so they don't have to bend over. You know, they're beer leaguers just like we are, and their backs are hurting at the end of games. So a little bit that you can do to help them, and hopefully that next call will go your way. Alright, here comes my buddy again, and of course he's going to do that inside-out move, and his finish move here is going to be different, but it's one that I've seen before in our scrimmages, so when he comes in, I pretty much know what he's going to do, especially at that point. I get a toe on it, fortunately, and my defenseman is right there to knock away any rebound.
Nice job.
Unfortunately, this is another prime example of bad rebound control, and what should have been an easy stick save into the corner ends up a leg save back out into the slot. Fortunately, my defenseman is right there to knock it away, and I tell him good job for doing that. I finally catch a puck. You know, I used to use this glove break a few years ago, and I really like it, but it's just not what I'm used to, so it's taken me a little bit to get used to it, and as this shot comes in, it gives me enough time to make sure it goes straight into that pocket. And I think at this point the game was 13-1, so my forward just wants to get this game over with already. Now it could have easily been a broken play, ends up a pretty nice one because of their forwards. He ends up dropping it back, and he'll get a really nice shot off here, but unfortunately I have pretty quick legs, and I redirect it over to my defenseman. So that's it, and I hope you all have enjoyed my helmet cam narration video. As always, like and comment and tell me how I'm doing, and look forward to an XLT video in the future. Good luck.